Hello, welcome everybody. My name is David. If you are asking yourself what is an FSA, or you're considering one but don't know exactly if it'll work for you, don't worry, I got you covered. Here's what you'll get out of today's video. Number one, I'm going to explain to you how you actually qualify for one. And number two, I'm going to give you my personal example of how I set mine up and how the FSA has helped me get braces that I have on today. Last but not least, the most boring stuff. Number three, I will mention some important details for how much you can contribute and all the tax related information, the not so fun stuff. So the basics. A flexible spending account is a special account you put money into that you use to pay for certain out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. I should point out immediately though that only you and your employer can put money into an FSA. This type of account can only be set up through an eligible employer, so that's kind of important. Again, if your employer doesn't offer this benefit, then unfortunately, you may have to consider other options such as an HSA. So if your employer does offer it, it definitely makes sense to take advantage of it in certain cases. You don't pay taxes on this money. This means you'll save an amount equal to the taxes you would have paid on the money you set outside yourself. This is how you use it. Essentially what you do is you use your FSA by submitting the claim to the FSA through your employer. In other words, you have to provide proof of the medical expense and a statement that it hasn't been covered by your health insurance plan. You will then finally receive reimbursement for your costs. However, in my case, my specific employer sponsored FSA, they give me a debit card that I can make the charges to and then just submit receipts for proof after without me having to use my personal debit or credit card. And that's really one of the other benefits about it. It's really simple to use for the most part. You can use the debit card provided by the FSA, which I highly recommend because then all you have to do is submit the receipts. So let's use my example to help outline how this works. So I set up my FSA with my employer, of course, because I anticipated costs for braces. And in my opinion, this is the best approach you should consider when setting it up with an employer. You have to have some type of cost in mind that you're going to be paying throughout the year, and that cost should be eligible. I will provide a source on the irs.gov website where you can actually see the list of eligible expenses that you can charge to your FSA and then determine if that makes sense for you. So I already knew I had to pay for braces out of pocket anyway, so I looked into an FSA because I knew I could reap the benefits of tax deductions. In essence, every 2 weeks that I get paid, I contribute $99 into my FSA. This gets directly deducted from my paycheck without me actually seeing it. And so that's the benefit, because now that the $99 every 2 weeks go into the FSA account, I'm paying less into taxes when I get my actual money into my account through direct deposit, let's say. So if I'm contributing $99 into my FSA, that totals up to $198 per month for the 2 paychecks I receive. So the reason I chose this amount is because I anticipated that I would pay $2,376 in total for my braces, and I wanted to be finished with the payments by the end of the year. So if you multiply 12 times 198, that will equal to $2,376. Now there's a reason I precisely calculated this total, and I'll go ahead and explain that at the end. This payment plan is one that my orthodontist approved and that ended up saving me money through taxes, because now each paycheck I am paying less into taxes instead because I am taking home less money now. If you think about it, at the end of the year, nearly $2,400 would have gotten paid to me and then taxed. Or I'm sorry, would have gotten taxed and then paid to me. But instead, it did not get taxed. I got dollar for dollar towards my braces. Actually, the IRS and government are rewarding us for being responsible and paying for these medical related expenses that otherwise would not be covered under our normal health insurance, meaning we have to pay these expenses out of pocket. And many of us don't know this, and this is the thing that I really wanted other people to know, and I was able to take advantage of it, and I still am, and I see how important and useful it can be for somebody else. All right, so that was my personal experience and my example, and I hope you were able to gain something from that and better understand the FSA. But here are some things that I would like you to know. Keep in mind that this may vary per employer and their program, but it should be the same across the board because the IRS does make these rules for how we can create these deductions. FSAs are limited to $2,750 per year per employer. If you are married, your spouse can put up to $2,750 in their own FSA with their own employer as well. And employers can generally allow employees to transfer a maximum of $500 from their FSAs into the next tax year. Or they can allow a grace period until March 15th to use their unused funds. This is why I particularly set up my FSA where I was going to expense the exact amount through the end of the year. Meaning every month I knew I had to pay nearly $200 for my braces to my orthodontist. And so I set it up where every month I was contributing those $200 into my FSA, so then I can expense all of it and not really have a penny left over by the time the end of the year came. And that's because with the flexible spending account, you can only roll over so much money to the next year. As outlined here, it's $500, and I really don't want to contribute any money into the FSA that is going to go unused. So you can use your funds in your FSA to pay for certain medical expenses, dental expenses as I've outlined, but do look at the exact details on the IRS website just to make sure that it does qualify for whatever it is that you're looking for. And you can spend FSA funds to pay deductibles and co-payments, but not for insurance premiums. So like life insurance and such and things of that nature. The list of what is an eligible expense and what is not can be found on the irs.gov website, and I'll put the link here and I'll put it in the description so you can check that out for your personal use. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. I hope this helps give you a better idea of how you can use the FSA. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are here for the first time, feel free to consider watching one of my videos on credit or even investing. I have loads of personal finance videos, and I hope to continue to put some more out as the days go on. So thank you so much. Peace and take care.